Hey, Pure Bath Bliss community, Greg here. You know that feeling, right? You spend what feels like forever cleaning a window or a shower door. You step back, the sun hits it just right, and it's just a sea of streaks. It drives me absolutely crazy. But what if I told you the secret to a perfect, crystal clear shine isn't in some fancy expensive spray bottle? Nope. It's probably sitting right next to your kitchen sink. Let's get into it.
This question right here, this is really what started my entire journey with Pure Bath Bliss. I remember looking under my sink one day and just being overwhelmed, thinking, what is all this stuff I'm using and washing down the drain? It really forced me to look for simpler, smarter, and more sustainable ways to do things. And believe me, when it comes to getting glass clean, the simple way is so much better. This isn't just another cleaning hack. It's about being more mindful with what we already have.
All right, so here's our game plan for getting you that perfect shine. First, we're going to break down what's actually causing those frustrating streaks in the first place. Then, and this is my favorite part, we'll dive into the pretty cool science of how simple soap works its magic. After that, I'll show you exactly what tools you need, we'll walk step by step through the method, and then we'll wrap up with some pro tips that'll make you an absolute glass cleaning master. Okay, let's kick things off with section 1, the problem with streaks. We've all been there. You finish cleaning, you feel super productive, and then you step back, only to see smudges, haze, and those awful, awful streaks. It is so frustrating. But hey, to beat the enemy, you've got to know the enemy. So what even are these phantom smudges that seem to mock our hard work? Well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. At their core, streaks are just stuff that got left behind. They're the microscopic little bits of mineral or soap residue that are still on the glass after the water has evaporated. So it's not that you're bad at cleaning, it's just that the job wasn't quite finished. The real key is to leave nothing behind.
So let's meet the main culprits. First up, hard water minerals. If your tap water has a lot of calcium and magnesium, those little guys love to cling to glass. Next, believe it or not, is the cleaning agent itself. Yup, using too much soap is one of the classic mistakes. Then there's lint from older dirty cloths. You're basically just spreading fuzz around. And probably the biggest one, cleaning in direct sunlight. The water just evaporates way too fast, leaving all that other gunk behind.
Okay, now that we know what we're up against, let's talk about the solution. And this is the part I get really excited about. The simple, kind of beautiful science that makes this whole hack work. I promise, understanding this will completely change how you look at that humble bottle of dish soap.
The magic ingredient in dish soap is a little thing called a surfactant. Just think of it like a tiny molecule with a split personality. One end is a total water magnet. That's the hydrophilic part. The other end hates water, but absolutely loves to grab onto oil, grease, and grime. That's the hydrophobic end. And this amazing dual nature is the secret to its cleaning power.
So this process is called emulsification, and it's basically magic. Those tiny surfactant molecules swarm all the dirt on your glass. Their oil-loving tails dive in and grab onto the grime, while their water-loving heads face outward. They form these awesome little spheres called micelles that trap the dirt right in the middle. And just like that, what was stuck on grime is now just floating in the water, ready to be rinsed away. How cool is that?
So, why is simple dish soap the champion here? Well, for us, it's a total no-brainer. It is powerful enough to cut through grease, but gentle on surfaces. It costs just pennies to make a whole gallon of cleaning solution. You can find it literally anywhere. And best of all, a lot of the simple formulas are biodegradable, which is a huge win for us and for the planet. It just works, it's cheap, and it's a better choice. What's not to love?
Okay, theory is awesome, but let's get our hands dirty. Or, well, clean. To get that perfectly clear, streak-free shine, you need the right tools for the job. And the good news is, you probably have most of this stuff in your house right now. So let's build our little toolkit for clarity. Here's everything you're going to need. First, a mild, clear dish soap. Try to avoid any with heavy dyes or perfumes, because those can leave their own residue behind. You'll want at least 2 clean microfiber cloths, one for washing and a fresh one for drying. A good quality squeegee. That's the pro's secret weapon, especially for big windows. Then, distilled or filtered water, and we are going to talk more about why that's so important in just a second. And finally, a simple spray bottle or a bucket to mix it all up in.
Now, let's talk about the water, because this, my friends, is a non-negotiable pro tip. It is a game changer. If you have hard water, using it straight from the tap can totally sabotage your efforts by leaving behind all those mineral spots we talked about. But using distilled or filtered water, that completely eliminates the problem. It's just pure H2O. There is nothing extra in it to get left behind on the glass. Trust me,
This one tiny change will make a huge difference in getting that flawless finish.
All right, team. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We get the problem, we know the science, we've got our tools. It is time for the main event, what I like to call the ritual of radiance. Let's put everything together and finally achieve that perfect streak-free clarity.
Okay, here's the 5-step process. Step 1, the dry pre-clean. Seriously, do not skip this. Wiping a dusty, dirty surface with a wet cloth just creates mud. Get the loose stuff off first. Step 2, mix your solution. And I am not kidding. All you need is 1 or 2 drops of soap per gallon of warm water. Less is absolutely more here. Step 3, wash from the top down. Work with gravity, not against it. Step 4, and this is crucial, rinse thoroughly. You have to get every last trace of that soap off. And finally, step 5, dry immediately with your squeegee or a completely clean, dry microfiber cloth.
Okay, you've now mastered the core technique. And honestly, that's going to handle 99% of your glass cleaning jobs. But for that extra 1%, for those really tricky situations, let's level up your game with a few pro tips to guarantee absolute perfection every single time.
Here it is, everybody, the golden rule of cleaning glass. Never, ever clean your windows when they're in direct, hot sunlight. So why is that? Well, the sun will make your cleaning solution evaporate almost instantly, way before you have a chance to wipe it all away. And what does that leave behind? You guessed it, streaks. For the best results, always work in the shade or on an overcast day.
So what happens when you come across something a little more stubborn than just fingerprints and dust? I'm talking about those chalky, hard water spots on the shower door, or maybe a few specks of paint on a window. Don't worry, don't panic. There are simple, targeted solutions for these too.
This little chart has got you covered. For mineral deposits, that 50-50 mix of white vinegar and water is pure magic. The acid in the vinegar just dissolves the buildup. Just spray it on, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, then clean like you normally would. For sticky stuff like paint or adhesive from a sticker, a fresh razor blade held at a really flat angle works wonders. Just remember, and this is the most important part, always, always do this on a wet, soapy surface to avoid scratching the glass.
There's just something so deeply satisfying about a perfectly clean window. It's more than just being tidy. It really feels like you're letting more light, more life into your home. It's this small, simple way to create a little bit of clarity and peace in your own sanctuary. And for me, that's what this whole thing is really about. A clearer window really can lead to a clearer mind.
And that, my friends, is the incredible power of a simple drop of soap. So now, I want to turn it over to you, our amazing community. This method is one of my favorite simple swaps, but I know you all have some brilliant hacks of your own. So, what's your favorite eco-friendly swap that you use in your home? Share it in the comments below. Let's keep learning from each other. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.